What's up? My name's Megiddo, and in this video I'm going to show you hidden features in Pioneer Rekordbox. Here we go. Alright, so I've been getting a lot of questions on YouTube about certain features that are hidden in Rekordbox. So I'm going to take you inside the software of Rekordbox using the Pioneer DDJ-RR and some hidden features that are with all lines of controllers with Pioneer. Here we go. So my first hidden feature tip is related to the waveform and how to make the waveform larger. I'm just going to kind of turn this down. So I've got this loop going. Now as you can see on the screen, in Rekordbox, the waveform is this specific size. Now if I want to make that bigger, what you have to do is go over to the left hand side, and right here you're going to see a plus and a minus, and then reset zoom. So you can zoom right into that waveform or zoom right out of that waveform. And if you want to get really tight into it, and then if you reset it, it'll go back to the default. Somebody asked me about that and I had to search myself, so I thought that would be a great tip for you in a video. So my next tip has to do with Pioneer controllers. So most of the Pioneer line have buttons right here, 8 buttons. And then you have hot cue, pad effects, slicer, and sampler. One of my favorite things to do while DJing is to use the pad effects section. So I've got this going. That's a delay out. I've got some reverb. This is a trick that I like to do often, where you filter it out. So the hidden feature has to do with the second bank of pad effects. Now you would think intuitively I would love the ability to double tap and it go into the second bank of effects, but that's not true. You just don't have enough time to get to the second bank, in which you have to press shift and pad to get to the second bank. And as you can see on the screen, I have gate set up, a pitch effect, crush, white noise, and then an echo out. And you can change that as well, like for instance on this bank. I have it doing a filter sweep, crush, and then you can also do a backspin, which will stop the track, and then it'll take you right back into the track. But it's really annoying in a performance. I don't have time because I'm thinking of so many different things as a DJ, whether it's my next track in my mind. I'm one step ahead of what track I'm playing, and so when I'm doing these effects, I need to press it really quick. So I wish you could double tap and it go into the second bank and then double tap back, but you have to press shift and pad effects 1. I just wish that would be possible, but that's how you do it. Shift pad effects 1, and that's how you get to the second bank of your effects, if you didn't know already. So that is how you get into the second bank, and to get back into the first bank, you just have to press it once. But wouldn't it make more sense to just double tap and you'd be in the second bank? Now, it is possible for you to change MIDI information, and I will be working on that to see if you can in fact change that function from maybe like a double tap. I haven't figured that out yet, but that is one of my goals, is to try to see if that is a possibility. And if you figured that out, please let me know in the comments below. So my next hidden tip is all about hidden features and buttons within Rekordbox. So let's go into the software and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So up here, right here, you're gonna see effects, color effects, the sampler section, the mixer section, which is right there, and the record section, which is how I'm actually recording the audio for this video. So that's another big thing. Whenever I DJ, I always love to have an audio version. I always love to have an audio version of my performance so I can analyze it and also share it with my audience who may want to go back and listen to it a second time. So that is important to know about when you're doing your software. Is right here, I always have that up so that I can visually see that. And then when you go into your preferences, you can also set how that function works. Let's see. So this is one of my big things. You can actually set how Rekordbox will record. You can either record where it'll start the video right when you press the button, or it'll start when you detect audio. Now I want to do it right when for videos and things like tutorials, I want it to start when I press a button. You can also set when it ends by the stopping of audio or by the pressing of the record button. So for a video, if you were ever going to record a tutorial video on any kind of Pioneer things, you would want to set it in here as by pressing the record video. So as soon as I'm done recording this video, I'm going to hit this record button again, and it's going to stop the video, and it's going to ask me to name it, and it's going to place it in a file, and I can go and upload that into my video editing software and then put this video up on YouTube. So it's important to know about hidden features, like you can change how the decks are shown. You can do 4 decks vertical. You can just do the browse section. My personal preference is horizontal. I like to see it going across. Okay, so also the color effects section. This is how you can edit your color effects. The color effects knob, which on the RR will default as the filter knob. You can also change that. Now, if you have a higher end Pioneer controller that has the 4 buttons where you can change what color effects you're using at the current time, you can actually change that as well. And this is the section in which you would do that. So let's get a loop going. So we've got this loop going. Right now I have it set to filter, and you can see on the screen right here, as I filter the button, it filters. Now let's say I want to change this to something else, like jet is another one of my favorite color effects. And that's how you would change the color effects right there, is using that button right there. You hit edit, and then you click filter, and then you hit edit again, and then bam. Now with the RZ or the RZX or other Pioneer controllers, you typically will have a strip in your mixer section in which you'll have 4 different buttons that will control this knob, which you can change it from a filter to a jet effect to crush, different type of things, and that's very useful. But you can also go and change it. They have other effects that you can do, like dub echo, other things like that are pretty standard on the DJM 900 Nexus. So when you click on the effects section, that's controlling these effects up at the top of the controller, and you can change those effects by selecting, and if you look right here, you can see all the different effects right here that you can select, and then once you turn it on, and then right there, when you can have the track going, you can have your effects on, and that button right there will instantly turn all the effects off. So you could have it will turn off all the effects and go right into that's typically you're doing those effects into a build, and then bam, you want all your effects off when it drops. Now if you want to change your pad effects in the pad effects section, what you're gonna do is you're gonna scroll down here. If you look right here, you're gonna see a little edit button, and then in this section you can actually change. Right now it's set to phaser, which is one of my favorite effects in the pad effects section, but you can also change it to multi-delay like this. I actually like that a lot. And then once you want to save your effects, the ones that you've chosen, and then you can change the values in which it affects, basically the wet and the dry knob right here. If you look right here, it shows you a percentage of how wet or dry the effect is on the sound. Once you're all ready for that, then you just click edit again, and then bam, it's locked in, so that when you close out of Rekordbox, it'll save those settings, so you'll be good to go during your performance. So you're at home, you're practicing, you're getting ready for your performance. Just pull up the software and all your settings are saved, so you're ready to go. You can also hide the mixer mic section right here. As I was saying, when you click on the mixer mic section, it'll show you the mixer, and also down here the mic section. So you can actually have this talk over, which will basically duck the volume of any audio playing through your device for your voice to be heard, and then as soon as you stop talking, that volume is raised up. Sometimes it might be hidden, and if you can't find that and how to affect your mic or the volume of your mic, that's where you would go. You would click right there, and you can take out, you can even EQ from this place right here. You can turn the mic on and off, and then you can control the level, and then even you can add some reverb and stuff like that, and then you can turn that effect on or off, which is really cool. When you're into performance, here's one of my personal tricks that I'm gonna show you. It's actually a keyboard effect. You're gonna have to set this up yourself, but it's really easy. On most softwares like Ableton Live or Logic, when you press Command comma on a Mac, that'll automatically pull up your settings. That's really, in my opinion, something that you really need to set up, because in an emergency setting, when you're playing live and you need to change something, in my opinion, accessing your preferences really quickly is very important. Now you can do that from right here, and you just press that button and bam, it automatically pulls up the preferences, which is great. But sometimes I don't want to fool with my mouse. Sometimes I just want to Command comma, bam, I have it right up on my screen. So how you can do that is if we go into Rekordbox right here, you click on keyboard, and then you're going to go to the file section, and then right here it says preferences. Now all you have to do is, I deleted it, all you have to do is click the plus button, and then now this comes up, and then any keys that you press right there will become the new shortcut. So Command comma, and it shows command plus comma is the new combination, and then I press OK. So now then when I get out of it, Command comma, bam, my preferences come right up. I really like having a keyboard shortcut for that, as well as I don't want to have to fool with my mouse moving all the way up here while I'm DJing. I want to have a button. It's just nice for me. Maybe that's just my personal preference, but it's nice. Command comma, bam, I'm into my settings. I don't have to worry about dragging my mouse all the way up to the corner during my performance. So that's really great if you need to change an audio channel or something has gone wrong with your audio or anything like that. That's really important. And you can map other things, other keyboard shortcuts for emergency situations. Like I suggest going back into that section where it is in the keyboard and learning the different functions. If you look right here, you can see that the keys of your keyboard control different functions of Rekordbox. I would say in an emergency situation where maybe something on your controller doesn't work, knowing how to use your keyboard and control your set via your keyboard is a lifesaver. So that's really important. I don't even know that. I need to go through and learn it myself. That's something that I want to learn as well, and I should learn as a professional DJ, and I suggest that you do it as well. Another thing that I want to teach you is about DVS. So I had a big problem when I first got Rekordbox and Pioneer. I could not get, for some reason, when I beat matched different tempos, like maybe this was 140 and 128, if I brought both of them to 130, the beat grids were not lining up correctly. Now I went back and forth in emails with Pioneer and trying to understand what am I doing wrong, and finally we were able to figure out what was wrong. One of the software engineers kindly pointed out to me that if you go in here and if you have the enabled DVS function, then even if it's at 128 or 130 on both tracks, there may be some swaying that happens. It doesn't necessarily lock in. So if you're wanting your beat grids to lock in exactly, which you do if you're a DJ, because that's how you beat match, then, and you're not using turntables, you're gonna want to have this not checked. So make sure this is not checked in your software preferences. And what you do is you go here to DVS and make sure this is not checked. And that way your beat grids will line up exactly if you have different tempos. It was just something that was going on. It was driving me crazy. I thought it was something wrong with the software. Even some of the technicians didn't know what was happening. I actually had to do a video showing the issue, actually recording it like this and sending it to them for them to understand what exactly was going on. And we finally figured it out. So I wanted to put it in my video to show you the importance of that, and knowing if you're not getting your beat grids lined up but the tempos are exactly the same, go into that setting and check that out to make sure that is set up correctly. Another hidden feature that you may not know about, you probably do, but if you don't, this is a very important one to me, is the space bar. The space bar, when you push it, allows your browser section to be larger and make it more easy for you to find the track that you're looking for. And that's important when you're in a hurry, you're trying to find the right track. You can scroll through your different playlists. For instance, my playlist to Cancun, and then once you click on the button, you can scroll through here. And then bam, you're back to seeing your tracks. That's the playlist that's the playlist I want to be in. You select your track and bam, you're on your way. You can also use your controller to map that function where it will expand the browse section. So on my DDJ RZ, I have it mapped to when I press Shift and A and the A deck, it'll automatically show up. I haven't mapped anything to the RR yet, so I can't really show it to you on this. You also have different sections right here on the side. For instance, if you wanted to look more in detail to this track, it will show you more detail. You can see a summary. It'll show you the artwork, for instance, like that. And then right here, I like to have this up. If you can look right here, this actually shows you different things that you can add. You can add even a rating, like if you really like this track or not. And that's great. Maybe you use the star system. Maybe you're using the star system for level of intensity. You can also set the color of this track. It could be purple. Maybe purple is kind of like your deeper tracks. Maybe red is more intense. You can use different things like that to then easily sort your stuff either on a CDJ or sort your tracks like, oh, I need a really intense track really quick and I can't find one. All the tracks in red, and that'll show you all the tracks right there. That's just really powerful way you can search for things. And then at that point that you can go in here and then look for all the tracks that are that color. Maybe you want it to show you everything in blue, everything in yellow. I don't have any tracks mapped to a different color. I haven't gotten that far into my personal, but there are a bunch of hidden buttons right here. If you look right here, you can also make the tracks larger. You can see it'll show you a larger version of the tracks. I tend to have my tracks more listed in a file manner. Thank you so much for tuning in to my hidden tips and tricks of Pioneer Rekordbox. My name's Megiddo. I have such a passion to help you in your craft as a DJ and producer. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.